Hey, this is Dan.
Bob.
And Eric.
From GigaBoots.com, and welcome to our quick play of OlliOlli 2. Welcome to Olliwood.
Olliwood.
Now, this is a fresh save file because of reasons. So we're real quick gonna get through this instructional thing. We're pushing right now. So yeah, OlliOlli 2 adds a couple things over OlliOlli 1 for those who haven't played it. The major thing about OlliOlli here is that the interface for jumping and stuff is not as simple as you would think. To jump, you push down and then let go of the analog stick. And to land, you have to push X at just the right time. So it represents the difficulty of doing that on a real skateboard a lot better than, say, a Tony Hawk would.
Where you press and hold X, let go, and it jumps.
And then you jump, and landing isn't even a concern. It's just a thing that works
Even though
unless you spin the board the wrong way.
Even though when you think about it, landing on a plank of wood with wheels on it should be incredibly difficult.
It's fucking hard.
Probably the hardest.
I know from experience, the one time that I tried it, it was incredibly difficult.
Hell, I couldn't even get to the jumping part. So I'm just going through some things here.
Apparently it lets you manual even before it introduces that, doesn't it?
Yes, it lets you do everything before it introduces it. I only have to grind 3 more. Okay, that's why we're able to do this quick play on a low level thing, you know?
Right.
Okay.
Otherwise it'd just be like, what is this?
So then to do tricks, like legit tricks and not just jumping, you spin the stick, basically, the left analog stick. And I'll show the Trictionary later.
So you're basically inputting fighting game commands.
Yeah,
while you're
kinda,
skating.
and it's really fast. So here's how that looks, you know.
Yeah, okay.
And then more complex movements and button combinations.
Oh wow.
And
I didn't go down that far. See the L1 and R1 being held in.
And that was all just tricks. You also have grinds and your stances.
Wait, how do you even change stances?
You hold L2 and R2 when in regular, or L2 and R2 when in Switch.
Wow.
So in any case,
I don't care enough about skateboarding to learn that for myself.
So yeah, the major feature they've added, they added a couple, is Revert and manuals, which I just did both right there. So when you land, you spin the board around. That's a Revert.
Oh, okay.
How do
That'll
you do
count
that?
as an extra trick. You hit R1 and X at the same time, and you gotta time it just right, like you do. I should beat the shit out of that level. In any case, you gotta time it just right, like you do when doing a normal trick. So, like that. See?
Huh.
So you can get sloppy reverts. You can revert straight to a manual. To do a manual, you push left or right and the X button at the same time. So, what that can do, yeah, this is a really complex.
I'm looking at his hands as he's doing this.
And it's just not matching up to what's happening on screen.
I am reminded of an octopus attempting to open a can of Coca-Cola. Just writhing all around this thing.
Yep. Also, while you're in midair, you can hold L1 or R1, maybe just R1, to do spinning, which counts as more tricks.
Of course.
Oh, and you get some skater magic.
And then if you slow down too much, you should end your trick and, you know, land.
So how do your hands feel after all this?
So I'm fine with the input being that complex. It's really fun. But I hate the PS4 sticks when trying to do a lot of these more complicated movements. Because see how it says pull 2 Tailslide grinds?
Sure.
Eventually it gets so complex where it's like, do this specific grind and this specific kick off of that grind. And that can get really, really hard on this stick to articulate that.
Yeah, I've been playing it on the Vita, and I've noticed it's been really hard on there to do those sort of ones where it's like coming off a grind doing something, and I just can't.
So those are grind markers. I need to grind through those in order to pick them up.
I see.
Like that, kind of Tony Hawk-ish, you know? So one of the major things about this game, at least for the Vita version of 1, I'm not sure about the PS4, you could use the D-pad on OlliOlli 1. You can't do that on 2, and that's upsetting because...
Was it easier?
Yeah, I find it easier to just use the D-pad if you're not trying to do some super complex movement. Now, there are stars, right?
Yeah.
And the point of the stars is you get all the stars, you now unlock the pro version of that level. But to get to the next actual level, all you have to do is make it to the end of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not really the draw of this. It's
Right.
Well, at the end of the level.
Yeah, the end, or yeah, there are as you go farther, you get more types of levels, though, like different areas and that sort of stuff to go through.
And it is increasingly hard just to make it to the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Tailslide is up. So there we go. I'm just gonna do that
Because
real
you
quick.
have to get all of them.
It's not as though you're unlocking fantastical environments here.
You will eventually.
What? Like moon?
Like space future.
Okay.
I know I'm in the Aztecs
Yeah.
right now.
Okay, all right.
And grinding the Aztec is pretty cool. On my save file, I'm at the end of this, I believe. Yeah, I'm on the last world. I got all the way to the second to last level. It gets really hard by that point. That's coming from someone who's like a Tony Hawk fiend. So.
Is one of the levels Skatopia, where all the buildings in the backgrounds are just giant skateboards?
No, but it should have been.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, 2 out of 10. And then this one was just like, hey, actually grind those markers.
If you could do that, that'd
Now-
be great.
This game doesn't require the revert or manual knowledge until pretty far into it. And so, in fact, you wouldn't know that this is that different from 1 until pretty decent length into it.
Are both the manuals and reverts new to this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Unless I'm just super dumb and somehow did not notice that in the last one. I'm pretty sure they weren't in the last one. Really sure they weren't in the last one. Yeah, there we go. And I grinded them and got to the end. And yeah,
them?
ground. Yeah, I don't think I took a grinder to the.
You're just skating with a pepper mill?
Yep. But yeah, here, let me just blow through these next levels without perfecting them, and then we'll get to check
that
out.
a
Oh yeah,
boost pad?
that's a new thing too. Like boost pads are in every world, and they look different, of course, to match the aesthetics, and it's pretty cool. Eventually, you get to a point where the game's like, do a trick that is the entire length of the level.
What? Never stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Well, after they introduced the manual, that seems like standard fare. I don't know.
But see, that's the thing. If you land things sloppily, it will slow you down.
Right.
So then it's basically, at a certain point, be perfect, never land things sloppily.
Right. I know that the grinds give you faster, or make you move faster, right?
Depending on how you pull it off. You can...
Well, I'm saying perfect grinds.
Oh, yeah. And most other things sustain your momentum if you pull them off perfectly. Unless you hold them for a really long period of time. Like manuals, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, Skater Magic.
Yeah, I'm seeing
The 2D game.
Right.
And there's a thing about the launchers where you have to jump within a certain part of it to get the perfect launch, which is its own thing. It actually rates you on the launch. So, okay, we only have one more. There was a really dumb pun for a movie in the background of one of the movie matinee things.
Of course.
I didn't see it this time yet. Let's pull off 3 perfect grinds.
Okay.
Giant robot. Woo!
Of course.
You know. Like you do. I'm
I know.
gonna fall. Okay, there we go. Got it.
This is Olliwood.
So much Olli, so much wood.
There was something of the dead back there.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a pun. I think it's just a generic zombie thing.
Oh, okay.
It was not an advertisement poster. It was, you know, the headings. Dark Dingus for the Awakening. Yeah, no, not that one either. We got one more level in Olliwood.
So the titular Olliwood is in there for one zone.
Yes.
Oh man, I like how this level introduces water, and that kills you because you sink into the water.
Okay.
Then it's lava.
What?
Yep. It's pretty great how much they added ways for you to die in this one.
Functionally the same, I guess.
Right, but one is you're definitely dead, man.
Yeah, you're most dead.
This is
In the future, energy vaporizes you.
oh.
Yeah.
Jeez. What? Carnival of the Dead. Okay.
So yeah, then it'll try to teach you that stuff, but you can usually back out. And then just go back in and...
Huh.
Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
there's just the
I could've
tutorial for
sworn-
this part, I guess.
Huh.
Gotta learn
So
the
I
manual,
guess
man.
if you don't immediately go into this, it'll skip the instructional thing. Because a lot of time I would open up a new area, but I would keep playing on the last level of the last zone, so that way I could, you know...
Okay.
perfect it, and that would cause it to skip the tutorial entirely. So
Huh.
I didn't see manual when it first popped up.
Wow. Do 5 manual.
I just did.
Do it
Do it
again.
again.
Fine. Just keeps me here forever.
Yeah.
So, the interesting thing about the whole, like, do manuals, blah, 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 is that if you go to do a grind and you hit the button combination to do a manual, you won't grind.
Yeah.
What will
Which-
you do instead?
You'll fall through
Eat
to
it?
the ground
Okay.
trying to manual, and usually the rails are above things that you, yeah. So you
will
just
kill
end
you.
up eating it, yeah.
Well, I like the silhouettes in the back. Pretty-
Yeah,
pretty
it's
nice.
pretty nice for a tutorial.
Yeah.
I totally manualed that. Thank you for realizing that and giving me that. Thank you, game.
You're welcome.
There we go.
No,
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we can go to the Curse of the Aztec.
Can you walk to a new music track?
Yeah, each zone also gives you a new music track, and you can skip the tracks on the right analog stick. So if you're
Neat.
at a song that you don't like, just skip it.
That's really cool.
Funny
Also,
thing about OlliOlli
this is
one-
really cool.
Yeah. Eventually you get, like, grind up the dragon to pull up blah, 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 blah. And it's
course.
just, like, some stone dragon that, yeah.
Dragon, grind the dragon.
Yeah. Whoop. So then the trick isn't really doing manuals in between tricks, it's doing flips from manuals in between tricks. So that way you get 1.2 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Always a good feeling when you finish the level for the first time and it's like, you did everything! You didn't even know what it was, but you did it! Good job! So another thing they have in this one's called the daily grind.
Nah.
Yeah?
Oh.
Huh?
I-
Anyone?
Ah.
Okay, so in any case, you hit triangle. And they change this every 24 hours.
Okay.
In your space, I guess.
Yes, this is
Holy
a space level.
You are playing Cannibalt.
Yeah.
You
Good job.
did it. Congratulations.
So that's what I get for fucking up.
Oh, okay.
So once you pull off one trick, it's all one trick. So the competition is just who can do the sickest trick each day.
you can do
on
the
these,
sickest one trick.
Yes. On these ridiculous levels.
Is this a level that you actually played in the single player? Or
No,
okay.
it seems it's called a spot. You unlock spots by playing through the single player too. But in any case, so that's my practice run. There's in the lower right square, play for real. You only get one shot.
So you
That's
screw
great,
up.
actually.
Yep, so you get to practice and practice, and then you do something stupid like that. Good job. Your submit. Your score for the day is 757.
You're a champion.
You're a fucking champion. What else is there?
Skatepark?
Yeah, these are the spots I was talking about. See, I've unlocked them for all the levels.
What is the skate park? Yeah.
Skate park's where you can learn those tricks.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's just practice training mode.
Yep. Revert manuals, reverts, grind switches. Grind switches is also new. Thank you, Skatepark. You have reminded me to talk about grind switches. So this game, much like Tony Hawk 2 to Tony Hawk 1, is a much better game because it adds things to make your combo go forever.
I mean 1 to 2.
Tony Hawk 1 to Tony Hawk 2, yes.
So 2 to 1. We're going
Yep.
back in time.
Yep. In any case, this one also adds something called grind switches. Now, if you watch my wheels, you'll see the color of smoke change here.
The sparks.
Yeah.
So
Now,
when
the
you get
reason
blue
it's
sparks,
doing
you can,
that-
you can boost around the drift turn, right?
No. So in any case, if you land a grind perfectly, you can do a grind switch, and that'll be you changing your position, your pose, your specific type of grind. So it'll also count as another trick.
Huh, okay.
And then there are lots of things for the single player where it's like, hey, switch from this specific grind to that specific grind in a level long trick. So you'll have to trick the whole level and remember to switch like that. And the way you do that is you push a direction, start grinding, and then tap X in another direction.
I feel like this episode would have benefited from a hand cam.
Yes, I agree.
Because I'm seeing...
Madness
I mean,
over
there's
here.
skater magic on screen, but there's only madness and darkness going on between Dad's hands.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Is there an option to turn off the monkeys?
No.
Darn it.
Decidedly
Not
worse
as
than
good.
Sports Friends.
Not as good as Sports Friends.
Clearly, obviously. But yeah, this game's pretty fun. The pro mode's fucking ridiculous. So you guys have been seeing me tearing up these levels, right?
Sure.
Right.
I haven't 5-starred one on pro.
Wow.
Because get 1.6 million points! Finish the 40x combo with the perfect landing. Now, admittedly, my pursuit of beating this occurred at the point where I didn't know how to do reverts or revert manuals. So there's a good chance now that I know how to do that, it'll be a lot easier, but still kind of ridiculous.
You're a tenth of the...
Oh my god.
Maybe? Jeez.
If ever grind isn't true grind, it will not even be there.
Yep, not a single one.
So out
because
of
that score was
1,600,000 points, you got
200.
not that.
Yeah. Which I've gotten a lot closer, but no, I haven't 5-starred any of these. I haven't really tried, once again, since I learned about those higher level tricks to chain the whole level, you know? But yeah, you get a Western, you get Carnival of the Dead, which
Okay.
is pretty neat.
So it seems like all of these extra areas are foreshadowed in Olliwood by those...
Yes,
Right.
you are
Those-
correct. Because this is Gunmetal Creek, and yeah, all of those.
That's pretty neat.
It is. This game's pretty nice. I like it. There's really not much else to talk about here. It's a cool game. It's on
And it-
PS4 and PS Vita.
Isn't it
it was
free for
giv-
PlayStation Plus right
Yeah.
Yeah, so go check it out. GigaBoots has been brought to you by the support of our producers Vincent Poverk and Cywolf via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.